Wednesday, and that means it's hump day and we're drinking wine on Design Sips. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers. Ah, it feels good. Hello.
Feels really good. Ooh, what are we drinking?
A Chardonnay. I tried it this weekend, so I told the girls. So I was like,
I thought she was going to say I tried it this morning. I was like, when Design Sips starts a little early. Okay,
Yeah.
Arkin Barrel Fermented Chardonnay, 2017 California. You can ride your bike there.
woohoo.
No, you cannot take a long flight. Okay, that's yum. Is that buttery and oaky and fantastical? Yes, yes it is. All right, if I missed telling you this, I'm Sandra Funk. This is Design Sips. We are going to talk about the business of interior design. Today is all about finding your people, and that means finding your ideal client out there in the world and figuring out how to get them to find you, what to say when you get them, and then how to nurture them along the process of hiring you, because as we all know, luxury interior design is not like a quick thinking purchase, it's a longer term, and so there's more of a process to finding your people.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Beautiful intro, Sandra. So I want to kickstart it by saying one of the things that I love that you say when you talk about potential clients is start with your client avatar, your ideal client avatar. So let's talk about that for a second. Maybe not everyone has an avatar defined. What did that look like for you?
Sure. So for me, and I think I talk about this regularly, right? I took an online course that really helped me develop my business marketing, and that was Marie Forleo's B School. So mad props. And I really, again, that's part of what we're doing here, right? Is we're developing a course for interior designers to run the back end of the design business, because I was such a beneficiary of this online course that I took. Literally changed my business, and I believe that there's like so much more to share when you dig really deep into interior design on that. So one of the principles that Marie taught was creating an ideal client avatar. And I'm sure it's not the first time that idea came to light, but that's who brought it to me. And it's really deeply trying to get into the psychology and into the head and into the mindset of the client that you want to work with. And what turns out happening a lot of times, that client, because that client is a lot like you, because you set up your business to service someone with a need, and you intrinsically know what your needs would be if you were going to go seek out your own service. So a service-based business is often, you might look a lot like your own client avatar, right? So when I first started my interior design business, my ideal client avatar was a double income, working young family with a dog and a house and a lot going on and very, very busy. And literally, it was really skewed to having help take this off their plate, help take the interior design off of my client's plate, because they are so busy with so much going on. As we grow up, our avatar can shift. Now my avatar looks more like someone who really wants a luxurious, high-end, elegant lifestyle, who really wants to live in a home that directly reflects their aesthetic. So my avatar is shifting a little bit from like this overwhelmed, busy mom to a real luxury, higher end clientele. And that will naturally happen too with your business, that you might shift that as you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to just say a quick hello. Hello, Malky. How are you? Nice to have you joining today. And I love too, you have such specificity about the questions you ask when dreaming up this avatar. Like, look, dig in. Like, are they decisive? Are they cautious? Are they city, suburban? Like, what are the commonalities? Like, I love how deep you dig to get just so nitty gritty with like the specifics.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea is not only, for me, I love busy professionals who are decisive, obviously who have the budget to execute luxury design, who, listen, it plays into the story too for us. If they're local, they're a different kind of client for us than if they're further away. It's a different pitch. It also can be home value. It's important to us that if we're going to work with someone on a luxury level and we're going to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into a project, that the property value can support and sustain that. Because what we don't want to get into is a situation where it's just not realistic that they can use our services. And because we have a lot of clients reach out, potential clients reach out who want to use our services that aren't in the financial situation to use it, we've started online design to be able to service that community, and also to have really kind language to say you're not a fit for full service, but we have this great online version for you that you can use. And I think that really sits well with our authenticity of not wanting to say no to someone just based on price, but needing to understand that there's a value exchange there, and that this is a luxury service.
Yeah, absolutely. So then one other question. So you identify your client avatar, and then let's talk about like some of the ways to attract the potential clients. And one of ours is our blog.
Yes.
And so can you tell us a little bit about working with Nicole to develop our SEO strategy?
Definitely. So our blog is so funny in that I think a lot of people think blogging is like just a pain in the butt, right? It's like it's writing, feels like you're back in English class. But for us, it's really about going after that ideal client. So once you do that client avatar and you figure out the psychology and the positioning, and also just where your ideal clients are in their world, you can write a post that SEO targets that exact client. So how we do this a lot is we link up interior design with the towns we want to work in. So it might be Montclair interior design. And we do that over and over and over again via our blog. And that means that we come up in Google searches for Montclair and interior design. And that is how we make sure that the clients that are looking for a designer in the areas where we work find us. Yeah, and again, if you properly geotag photos and if you properly locate your business with Google, you'll also get interior design near me. You'll get interior design in any town that's within a radius of you, because Google will naturally bring them to you if you have given yourself proper location on their system. So understanding that tech, or finding someone, hiring someone, outsourcing someone that does understand that tech is imperative to be found by your ideal client.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so then we've identified our ideal client. We've got some techniques for sort of how to attract and draw them in. Now, what about when they actually call you, and what kind of systems or processes do we have in place?
So much
to nurture.
Right, exactly. So we have so many systems in place to kind of make sure that a potential client who reaches out to our firm has a consistent and extremely welcoming experience, as well as learns a few key points that we like to communicate to our clients about who we are and what we do. And what we are really looking to do is gather some crucial information at that first contact. So we kind of have a great little system that outlines what we want to share and what we need to get, and the rest of it is about listening. So it's asking key open-ended questions and really documenting what their desires and needs are. It's asking questions like, have you made any decisions about the project? And then giving them the example of, for instance, have you hired anyone related to the project? Have you set a budget? Have you set a timeline? These are key questions. If you know me well, you know I don't love to have my clients set a budget. I like to set a budget together, because much like I wouldn't know what a medical procedure would cost, because that's not my industry, a client can't know what an interior design procedure, a renovation, is going to cost, because it's not their industry. So asking a client for a budget cold without education is like cutting off your nose to spite your face, because they can never imagine it costing what it does end up costing, because they haven't put all those things together. So instead, getting to an agreement on the zone that you're in and setting that budget together, always a winner. But we do like to ask that question, or at least ask if there's any decisions that have been made, because if there's a firm budget, we need to know that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because sometimes there is. Sometimes there's a legit number, and
or
that's the number.
a super firm timeline that
is unrealistic to our schedules.
Yeah.
Right. Because we have our own pipeline, right? We're always tracking and fiddling and fixing and making sure where we have room for another client, when we can take on another client, if we can squeeze something in. Of course, we'd love to do that. So I think it's about listening, number one. But we always use kind of a structure, because while you might get carried away and excited with the project, you really need to get the location address, the name and number of the people, and email address so that you can stay in contact. And then you need to share really key points about who you are. So it's crazy important to put your key defining characteristics out in front of this client. They may have gotten your number from a friend, they may have Googled you, they may have spent 4 hours on your website, they may have never seen your website. You don't know, so you need to communicate that right out of the gate.
Yeah. Question, let's talk about FAQs for a second.
FAQs are wonderful. Okay, so have a section on your website, my interior design friends, FAQs, so frequently asked questions. This is amazing for so many reasons. Number one, it really walks our clients through like those nitty-gritty questions that are always in the back of their mind. And those FAQs come from the questions that we get from potential clients that ask over and over and over again. Anytime anyone on our team finds themselves sounding like a broken record because they're re-explaining something, we'll make sure we add it to the FAQs. So they come naturally from years and years of doing this. You can check them out, houseoffunk.com, search around FAQs. But we really get clear on our process and our procedures. We also get clear on the typical range of a house value or a project size. We get clear about, do we take refunds? Do we take 100% deposit up front on purchases? How things work. It's a wonderful place to reference. It's a wonderful place to send them a link out to a direct FAQ if they're asking a follow-up question, so they can see that that is a standard by which we work and not unique to them. But it's something that we do all with this. So whenever you see copy from House of Funk, be it our website, our social media, whatever it is, we're always trying to speak to the one person. So if that's one designer that I'm speaking to right now, telling you the best tips I've got on how to run a better business, or if I'm speaking directly to a potential client about their beautiful home and the amazing potential that it has, the voice is always to the one person in our world that we're trying to work with next, because that's, it's about personal connection and personal relationships. So they need to hear from you directly.
And I think also important, like if you're a designer who's got a little more quirky or kooky style and your messaging and your voice is, a little wilder, like just being true to what your voice is and then just making sure that's the same across all your channels.
Yes. Creating a brand, right? That's taking it from copy to branded copy. It needs to sound like you, it needs to feel like you, the aesthetic needs to look like you. Years ago I had a very dark and doomy kind of website, and when I started working with Nicole from Curio Electro, she was like, it just doesn't feel like you. You're so light and bright and airy. And I was like, really? I thought it was like moody and deep. And she's like, no, not really. So sometimes getting outside yourself and finding a friend who can help say, no, that doesn't look like you. That's very, maybe you have this moody side to you. Okay.
Yeah.
But day in and day out, you're pretty sparkly.
Yeah. Wait, let's cheers to sparkly.
Yes.
Can we get some love? And if you're drinking with us, give us some sparkly.
All right. Cheers to sparkly.
No, but that's
and
a good point.
If you got lucky and dark and moody is your vibe and not just the vibe you want it to be, because I really do like the dark and moody stuff, I just can't pull it off all the time.
That's
rock that.
Shirt today.
I know, I'm like, sparkly! Could there be more lip gloss? No, I am sparkly. I accept it.
So another interesting thing is, as important as finding the right client is also really standing in your space enough to know who isn't your right client. And I think you have a beautiful way of sort of saying that, passing on certain projects leaves room for the right type of ones.
Yes. So I find this incredibly hard to do. So when I grew my firm to the point where there was someone else who could answer the phone, this was an ideal situation for me. Now, if you are a one-woman show and you are getting it all done, there are a million ways you can have the phones answered by someone else. VAs, you can, you really can kind of take a different direction, but I love the idea of outsourcing those calls. Because here's the thing, I am like a compassionate, empathetic person. I would love to say yes to everyone, and I used to. I would also say yes to everyone's timeline and their budget. And then I deal with the repercussions, which meant crazy all-nighters and making no money. So I, in growing, have been able and forced to step into the situation of no, it needs to be profit first, right? We need to be profitable. And that means I know our ideal size client that we're most profitable on. So for us, it's a $150,000 budget minimum, Around $300,000 minimum is our sweet spot as far as profit is concerned, but we really try not to take on a job that's less than 150 because it can be break even. It literally can be a situation where we're not even making money on it, because every relationship we put so much effort into, right? From having someone who's answering the phones on those initial phone calls, who walks them through. I mean, Rania is a master at just grabbing them and taking them through what it looks like to work with House of Funk, all the way through to the team and the customer service and the photography at the end. And if we aren't in our zone of profitability, we can really easily have that job be costing us more money than it makes us, because we give every single client the exact same full throttle House of Funk experience. So getting in that zone means saying no a lot, right? So one of the things was being able to say, this isn't a fit for full service, we'd love to have you check out online design, is a great way to say a soft no. So it's not a no.
And it's still, I think we should add that it's still our team on the online design. That's the beauty of House of Funk's online design.
It's still us, but it's taking away a massive chunk of the relationship management, right? We're not in person, it's all online communication, it's just a lot. It's no execution, right? So there's no project management. There's still obviously customer service. There's obviously still walking you through, and there's great design because it's the same think tank team doing it. It's just really slicing it down to, let's give you the design and then you execute yourself. It's a great way to get the House of Funk think tank working on your project without having that expense. But also having a buffer between me and the potential clients is wonderful, because again, my nature is just to say yes to everyone and try to please. But we really have set up parameters that allow us to say, kind of almost force us to say no unless it's our sweet spot. Mm-hmm. And that's crazy important. And that's really that whole mantra of stand in your space. It's not only about respecting yourself and earning what you're worth, it's also about identifying and staying in your sweet spot, and just being okay with saying no.
Yeah.
And we're really, really careful and really delicate and generous, but we are not afraid to say it's just not a fit. Thank you so much. We wish you well.
Yeah.
And that's it. No excuses, no reasons. It's not because we're too busy. It's not because the timeline. It's just, it's not a fit. And that's all you need to say. It's kind and it's clear and it's not leading anyone on, and it's the truth.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah, and oftentimes the clients want to hear that as well too, and they will even say, I want to check if we're the right fit, and you always say it's an interview on both sides.
Exactly. And I love the fact that if they go through this process with Rania, speaking with them, and kind of that interview process and kind of all of those sweet spot identifiers that we have, by the time I'm going out to meet that client, I am so excited, because I know that they had good synergy with Rania on the phone, and she's got an incredible intuition when it comes to this. And I know they also will fit into our sweet spot as far as house value, budget, scope, etc. So my whole thing is like, by the time I'm going to a potential client meeting, I can't wait to meet them. I can't wait to see the project. Like, it's all set up for success, and that's huge.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we have a question.
Cheers to the process.
Cheers to the process.
Since it is science, occasionally you need to sip.
Exactly.
Cheers.
We have a question. Are there any potential client red flags you've noticed in your experience?
Of course. Oh my goodness. I think there's a message on our machine.
Literally almost every day when I check the messages, I'm like, is today the day I delete it? Nope, not today.
So there are some red flags out there. We have a great message, and it's sort of a fabulous run-on sentence, and it sort of, at some point it says, I want to hire you, and then it says, but I don't have any money, and anyway, it goes on and on. It is very, very exciting to listen to. It's a good pick-me-up if ever you're having a bad day, but it's full of flags. Yeah. It's definitely one of those that you go, oh no, not a fit. But again, we're kind and generous, and we say it straight. We give it to them straight, no fooling around. It's not a fit. It's not a fit. Thank you, and move on.
I think, but you've also mentioned, I think, some good sort of softer red flags, like if you've gone.
Besides the straight up,
beside the crazy. Just if someone offers you a glass of water or things like that. I mean, just simple ones.
So funny, yeah. And I don't call it a flag if someone doesn't offer me a glass of water, but there is so much more natural draw to a new client if they, I'll tell you what, it's so funny. I like it when you have to take your shoes off to come into someone's home because it shows how much they care for and love and respect their home. You don't have to, but I think that's a good, I don't know, to me it's a good sign. I see like the more beautiful and cared for homes, I always take my shoes off no matter what. I hope you don't have a foot thing.
Yeah.
But I do think that's like a respect thing. It shows respect for your home. And then same thing. It's asking, should I show you around first or do you want to sit first? It's offering me a seat. It's offering me a place to put my bag down if we're going to walk around first. It's offering me a glass of water after we sit down to talk. I think there's a general graciousness that goes a long way into showing that they'll be gracious with you in business dealings. They'll be gracious with you in communication, in timelines, in when troubles come up, that they'll be gracious with you then as well. So I think to be treated be treated well as a guest in someone's home right from the beginning is very telling of how they will treat you in a respectful, on par kind of a relationship all the way through. So that is, I wouldn't say it's a flag if they don't do that, but it is a very big plus if they do. It really makes me feel like, okay, this is wonderful. They want to build a respectful, symbiotic relationship with me and not just, you're here to get the work, you're a worker or see you as an employee or something like that.
What about flags for designers for timelines, like just insisting on really...
Yes, we get a lot of potential clients calling with extremely short timelines, and it's one thing to have a short timeline. We totally, if it works for us and we can make it happen, we're on board. We love that. But it's when it's insistent and it's unrealistic and it's insistent in a disrespectful way. That's a huge red flag. If somebody is pushing so hard and just because they don't want to be patient. They don't have the patience perhaps. And so that can be a real difficult thing to do. Other really big red flags for me is decisiveness. And again, it's not like I won't work with someone who's indecisive, but I will be really, really careful to explain our process because our process rewards the decisive, right? Because we have a flat fee and one round of revisions. And if we go in beyond one round of revisions, there will be an additional cost to the client. So while I love the idea of being able to be put into their budget with confidence and a number that they can stand by, I have to be able to stand by that number as well. And what that means to me is I have a pipeline, I have other clients waiting, I have a team I need to run, and I have efficiencies that must be in place. So if we go beyond that one round of revisions, I have to assess an additional fee. And that is either incentive for my client to get decisive, or I'm getting compensated for another round of options to show them. But there can't be a situation where we're just going and going and going and going, because that eventually costs us a lot of money because we're waiting and we were supposed to be executing and it's pipeline and it's all, it's a business, it's all numbers, it's all going to work out.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my kind of pivotal stories is that I used to charge hourly. Actually, I've done it every way you could think of it. Okay, so I used to charge hourly. I used to charge a lower hourly rate and include, our markup in our product. And then I charged a very high hourly rate and passed along my discount completely. In both of these situations, I constantly was negotiating, defending, reviewing the budgets, the conversation, the whole discussion. And it finally culminated with me curled in a ball under my desk, swearing that I was either shutting this business down or finding a way to never ever charge hourly again. And I brought in a business strategist and a business lawyer, and we turned down a whole bunch of wonderful jobs while we rewrote our contract and rewrote our model to be flat fee with purchasing 100% through House of Funk. And what that does, and also a line in our contract that specifically states clients will never, under any circumstances, be privy to our purchasing or markups. Okay, and what this means is, and I use the example all the time, you don't walk into Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, Gap, and find a shirt you love and go to the register and say, but what did you pay for it? And then admonish them for making $20 on this shirt, right? It's not done. And it should never, ever, ever have been done in our industry either. So The way that I don't ever do this, and legally can never do this, is it's in my contract. And not only is it in my contract, it's a 12-page document. It's not like I expect them to memorize the whole thing. It's in my talking points, it's in my FAQs, and I look them in the eye and I say it to their face twice before I sign them. Once in their home when I'm reviewing how we work, and once again when they're in my office receiving their flat fee and their proposal information. It is so crucial that you write it, you email it, it's on your website, you say it to their face, and you follow it up in writing again. It is how you will become a profitable and confident and sane designer. Get out from under your desk and stand in your space. Because I am offering these clients a flat fee that is either palatable or not, and amazing, amazing value when it comes to purchasing through House of Funk. Now, I do that because I negotiate these discounts with vendors over long term with big opening orders and commitments, and I work those relationships and I work those discounts, and I am able to bring my clients amazing high quality furniture for extremely reasonable prices, and I get to make the difference in that. And that is how I'm able to sustain a business that just keeps delivering high quality design year after year with a smile on my face, very happy clients, and vendors that we love. It is the only way to survive this business.
Cheers. You deserve some wine after that. You got a lot of love, and Wingnut Social joined and said, hello, gorgeous.
Hello, gorgeous. Hello, my darling.
Thank you. Stand in your space. We're getting some love there. Beautiful.
Sorry,
said.
the soapbox. It's so exhausting.
That was perfect.
All right. No, but really, I think it, and I get on a little kick, but you have to set up your terms, and then you have to actually believe in them and be willing to say it to their face and follow it up in writing and put it in writing and sign on the dotted line. And you have to be so confident that you are doing them a huge service by giving them a flat fee that they can digest, and really high quality, really amazing goods, and really high quality, amazing customer service, and then everyone's happy. It's
and
great.
it's always delivered in a way where they don't feel, it's where we've talked it through. It's never like, just.
I'm not hammering anyone. I'm not. And you know what? Like, again, I want, when I go into a coffee shop, a little local coffee shop, like, I want them to thrive. I want them to do well. I want a handmade, beautiful cup of joe, right? So I want my clients to want me to thrive and survive. And setting it up this way, I think it brings that client to you. A client that wants to nitpick through the net pricing and discuss every little detail, that's not my client, which is fine. There's somebody out there who might like that wheel and deal. That's not a passion of mine.
Yeah. So Malky had a good follow-up question, and she said, what's the point that you are stressing to the client? Is it that you make a profit, that purchasing has to go through you, that they can't access the markup? What's the most crucial part of that?
So the most crucial part is to clearly identify that my business is based on a flat fee up front and purchasing through House of Funk. That is the mix with which I am in business and I am profitable. And it is required that you not only do the flat fee, but also the purchasing through me. That is how my business model is sustained. That is how I'm a. That makes it clear that the flat fee up front is not cost prohibitive. It's not huge. It's not something that would chase them away, but it's not enough to sustain profitability through an 18-month project. It is the purchasing that holds half of my profit story. So for me, I just simply say my business model is based on both the flat fee up front and purchasing through House of Funk. And that is all that, it's very clear that that's important and it's part of it.
And to answer Malky's question too, we often don't get into the profit discussion at all with the clients, but it's more if they ask, can I get the design from you and then purchase on my own?
Correct.
And we're clarifying that that's just not an option in the House of Funk way.
Correct. So our full service business model is 100% flat fee plus purchasing. It's the only way it works, okay? It's the only way it's set up. We would have to charge so much money in that flat design fee up front to offset no purchasing that it would be cost prohibitive. We wouldn't get the gig, right? So the alternative to someone who wants to do their own purchasing is online design. We give you all of our ideas, we cut all of the execution out of it, and we're able to give them the right to purchase free and clear. Happy to do it. So we do offer it both ways because we do hear that question that people want to do their own purchasing. Again, the thing that we really offer is 100 like custom to the trade only, handmade things made in America, amazing. And of course we work with people who import beautiful things as well, but we offer them something that they cannot get on the market in their local area. We also educate our clients on that as well.
Yeah, and I think we educate our clients on the design fee and then an idea that they will understand what the furnishings estimate will be, and that estimate is what will go through House of Funk.
Correct. So in the beginning, when we give someone a proposal, we give them our flat fee per room, and then we give them an average budget per square foot based on past House of Funk clients, okay? So what I've done is tracked our data over the last 10 years, and I know that renovating a kitchen or a bathroom, I know the metric per square foot on what our clients in the past have spent on that. Gut renovating or building from scratch or just decorating a family room, I can look at the metrics and I can figure out what that per square foot budget should be. I give that to the clients to make sure that we're in the same zone, the same stratosphere, and then we work to set a budget together. Again, that's an educated budget, not a wild ass guess. And that's what we stick to. So we give them as much gorgeous design as we possibly can inside of an educated budget that we've set together. I've never had a situation where a client has felt like they didn't get their money's worth or their value for that. And they don't begrudge us staying in business and being profitable enough to service them and to support and to be there when they call us back later to do another room or have another, follow up on something.
We have a question about, do you actively seek out clients or do they find you through Google searches and other ways? Maybe this is a good talking point for referrals and the importance of sort of sharing love with, past clients who are referring you or other local vendors who might be.
Yeah, so we absolutely go seek out clients. One of the main things that an entrepreneur or the head of a company is doing is rainmaking, and that's drumming up business. So if it's getting out there networking, having referral sources, past clients are amazing referral sources, and we always thank them so much for sending their friends and family our way. Also, all those people that you work with regularly, the realtors, the developers, the architects, the florists in your area, the landscape architects, that whole network of people that are servicing your same client are an amazing group of people to continuously refer to. We are excited to always look at new networking opportunities and get out there. So being in networking groups or philanthropic endeavors that get you in front of new markets and new people is huge. So get out there, go after new clients. I'm definitely not sitting around letting them come and find me.
Yes. So Rincey Phillip Interiors has a questions. Hello. When clients buy through House of Funk, what if they ask for returns? How do you handle that?
So we have a no refund policy because I would say 85% of what we sell clients is 100% custom. It's no refunds, right? So we provide all the dimensions, all the information, samples, finished samples for approval, as much detail as humanly possible. And knock on everything, we really don't have a situation where we have a lot of returns. We really try to communicate. We always present a room, not an item. And so it's about getting into the space and really working that entire room. And it might be downplaying something that was a little bit more bright than they thought it was going to be. It could be bringing our decorative painter in and having a finish adjusted. It could be having a pillow restuffed or a cushion remade so that it's lighter, heavier. Yeah. I find that because we're talking in custom terms and in a custom world, and we have such amazing tradespeople that can be called upon to adjust, it's not often a problem.
Yeah, and this is a good tie-in too to one of our FAQs where you give the example of the sofa. Like, can you share that story?
Yeah. So
and
Toby,
also we know it says no refunds like a boss.
Yeah, that's right. It's custom. It's like having a dress made for you and being like, change my mind. It's not an option. Toby Fairley, one of my faves, one of her lines that I love was, listen, if you decide later you don't want that apple green sofa, I certainly don't want it either. And I'm not quoting it exactly, but I absolutely love Toby, and I love her beautiful Southern charm and the way that she says that. And I think that's something that we quote all the time is, if you change your mind and you don't want that really custom fabulous thing that we order for you, I probably don't either.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Absolutely.
Game.
Okay.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. And then one thing I think we didn't touch on for potential clients is that part of our bigger process is our lead nurture series.
Yes,
so
exactly.
that's such a big part of nurturing the client. And let's give the example of the client that thought that you were sending them the email.
Yes. So, well, and of course they should, because it was written by me and it's speaking directly to them. It should feel just like that, right? So, one of my favorite things that we do here is when you get involved with House of Funk, you get onto our email list, right? And we have this incredible email nurture series, and I believe it's a series of 6 emails, very carefully crafted and written with the exact potential client avatar, our ideal client avatar in mind. And it is really about speaking to their pain points, speaking to the reason that they're reaching out to a designer, speaking to their needs and their desires and what we could help them with and how we could dovetail into their life to be of service to them. And it just walks them through kind of this emotional ride of getting to know us and us really speaking to their needs and what their desires are and how we can help and infuse beautiful design into their home. And it's just curated and well thought through, and it's actually one of the things that we're going to offer all the designers that are joining us in our the design standard in next year in 2020. We not only are going to kind of show you exactly like how we do it, but we're going to give you the exact language that we use in ours. And of course, you'll put your flavor on it and you'll put your personality into it, but the rhythm of the setup, the timing of it, the length of it, and the messaging can be very helpful as a starting point for you to create your own as well. It's been a wonderful series for us.
Yeah. We have a question about how do you figure out your client avatar and their pain points?
Okay, so it's really important to speak to past clients who fit this avatar. It's really important to, if you can't do that, I know we did a bunch of like phone calls. We called up old clients and talked to them. We called up people that were friends of ours that fit the avatar but aren't a client and talked about, would you ever hire a designer? Why wouldn't you? What would you think?
Do different if you had hired a designer?
Yes, if you had, what would you do differently, or you did, what would you look for next time? So we did a lot of research into who that avatar is and what they're into. We also, Googled a ton and read a bunch and just tried to really get inside of their head. And again, we're constantly doing that. We're constantly upping the game and trying to get into the mindset of our people and make sure that we can be where they are providing this service for them.
Yeah, great.
Yeah?
Team, any other questions? We have through my list.
We're good?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining. And let's tell them where they can go this month to get, if they go to House of Funk Trade, to get our potential client talking points.
Exactly. So houseoffunk.com, the trade tab up on the far right-hand corner. Click on that. You're going to have so much information. Your head's going to turn around 3 times, but it's okay. Stick your email in the box and hit send. You're going to get our potential client talking points. Really important. Those points that you need to share, those points that you need to receive on that initial contact so that you can bring this potential client all the way through to being your ideal client. Also, it's like a vault of content. So you're going to see the videos from the last design sips and all the things we've spoken about already and tons of tips and tricks and fun things. So check it out, houseoffunk.com trade.
Yeah, and we have a question about when it'll be available. Spring 2020 is when we're launching, so definitely get on the list now.
Yeah, get on the list because we're rolling every month. We have another theme and we have another takeaway, like little examples of what you're getting in the course every month up until we launch. So lots of content coming your way. Again, I'm Sandra Funk. This is Design Sips. You can find so much more at houseoffunk.com, and we will see you in a month.
Cheers.
To drink.
Cheers.
Cheers.